Hey everyone, this is Simran and welcome back to another episode of The Unsaid. Today I'm joined by Badri Seshadri, the founder of Mottamaadi Music, and someone who turns rooftops into stages and strangers into a chorus. But today we're going beyond the music, into the moments, emotions, and fears that often goes unseen. Hi Badri.
Wow, hi. Nobody has given me an intro like that. Thank you.
Really? I'm glad.
Yeah.
How is it? So what's happening today?
Just finished Australia and Singapore shows and we landed yesterday. And then, of course, this is the first priority I had in my list. Yeah, the shows are going well.
Nice.
It's a good year. We are doing our first world tour this year. So we finished USA, Dubai, and then now we have finished Australia, Singapore. We're heading towards UK and Europe. So God willingly, good year.
That's very nice. And I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
And for you to make it in between all of this means a lot to me.
Of course, anytime.
So, outside of music, what's something that lights you up to an extent where you could lose hours at it?
I read a lot of books. Books is my thing, I guess. I started reading very late, probably until my college first year. I was not a reader, but like my sister is an avid reader. Was always been on like on one parame face on her. Like, how do you develop this habit of reading? How
Yeah.
do you put so much concentration on that? And then slowly I started reading. I will thank Khalid Hosseini for that. The first book I read was The Kite Runner. Then that changed the overall vision of how to read a book, because that's the first time I realized that words can make me cry. Until that, I was actually thinking that only if you show me visuals I can cry. But Kite Runner changed from then. I think whenever I'm out of music, it's just the reading thing that keeps me going. Yeah.
Nice. And did that inspire you to write as well? Was that?
Yeah, the writing part of it, I used to write poetry, but my poetry used to have like stages of it. But the initial phase is that how you generally start, right? Keep all rhyming words. You
Yeah.
take a sad note on your poetry, write a love failure poetry. That's how it started. But then I started reading Mr. Namathu Kumar's poetry, and then that changed a lot of perspective on how to write modern poetry for me. I mean, that's the window that opened for me, where like if I'm going to school today, I'm going to college today, that can be a poetry. What I see can be a poetry is something that came because of Mr. Namathu Kumar. Until then, the kind of poetries I was reading was very difficult,
Right.
very different. But then now, thanks to him, that it has changed. Maybe I wouldn't say the kind of books I read is what I write. The kind of things I see is what I write. But the books is a separate part, and my writing experience is a very different part. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when life turns really noisy, which is very much expected in your case,
Always.
where do you turn to for silence?
Actually, it's a very philosophical question. It's mostly sometimes it's drive. I just go on a drive because, especially after Mottamaadi music, right, I'm always around people. Like, and I love being around people, so I cannot call it noisy. Then when the work comes around with people, at times you feel like, okay, where I am, and you always think about like the people around you and what you want to do and all that. So for that, we have a small gang inside our, which is like drive friendly, drive. So we just take a trip. My hometown is Trichy, Srirangam. So my thing is to just go there. There are times where like I felt really sad at probably 3 o'clock in the morning. Just took my car, went to Srirangam, drank a coffee and came back.
From Chennai, you'll go all the way to Srirangam?
Yeah, it's hometown, no? So when you go there, you realize where are you from.
Right.
And that kind of puts you in
Grounds you.
grounds you very much to an extent where I'm thinking of like moving back to Srirangam probably in 4 or 5 years from now. It's a very arrogant thing to say, think about. But yeah, like that is something I seek whenever I need some silence. I have my favorite temples there. So when I wasn't a musician back then, and when I decided to become a musician, there is this spot in the temple where I decided all my crucial decisions. Even now, if I want to make a very crucial decision, I go there. And that place kind of gives me the silence I want to.
Right.
It's mostly drive. That's what it gives me, the silence, or maybe the terrace. It's very rare now these days.
If you have a short time, you can
Go there, sit,
Right.
and then
Where it started also, la?
where it started. I mean, this journey, this journey of Mottamaadi music started there.
Yeah.
It's special in a way, but also it's very fancy that you go back to that place to find silence where all the noise was created.
Yeah.
So, kind of a good loop to have.
Nice.
Yes.
You went from engineering to music.
Yeah.
So if you can tell me that journey.
It's a very funny story because my mom and dad wanted me to be an engineer because I usually say when you come from a tier 2 city like Trichy,
Mhm.
I actually didn't know there are so many jobs that can
Mm.
do so many different kinds of education. For example, when
Mm.
people say, like your friend said me, there is this electronic media thing. I didn't even know the existence of it.
Mm.
All we knew was you can do a BE or BTech, or
Right.
you can be a doctor if you
Mm.
have chosen biology group in your 11th and 12th. You have
Mm.
this commerce group, that is the third, or you can do a BSc physics or BSc chemistry.
Mm.
I thought this is it. Even to an extent, I wasn't aware of law. Like I can do law, it was like a fancy thing for me. So
Mm.
they're like, okay, this is the route. Let me do engineering. The biggest realization was during my first year, I knew this is not for me.
Mm.
I always say people who want to follow a dream, they should know what doesn't come to them.
Mm.
That's very easy way of choosing a dream.
What doesn't work for you?
Rather than what comes for you, what doesn't come for you if you spot it out. So engineering wasn't for me.
Mm.
My fantasy wasn't towards music. My fantasy was towards sound. I wanted to be a theater mix engineer. So I think I don't remember the movie in 2011. I went to a theater, and that's the first time I am listening. I think it's Vishwarupam of Kamal sir.
Mm.
They did the Aura 3 mix, and that's the first time I'm listening to 11.1 mix. And the fantasy was so huge to an extent where I was like, how is this sound coming from? Where is this coming from? Until then, I didn't know that it's like 4 different departments that works together. We all thought like, okay, Rahman sir studio pona ellame vandu. What do you think? But yeah, that created a lot of
Fascination towards it.
fascination towards it. Yeah. So at 2014, without telling my parents, I just went to my placement cell.
Mm.
And then I gave a letter to them that I'm not sitting for the placements.
Mm.
I said I'm going to do diploma in auto engineering.
So you're finished by then?
No, that was my final year.
Okay.
So my parents thought I was going for a job interview, whereas I was like, I don't need a job interview. I'm going there.
Okay.
Very lucky. My father was like, until like from the beginning point of it, he was very, very supportive. He never questioned me, never because he wanted to be an editor, but because of the financial conditions of my family, he couldn't be. So he made sure that I follow my dream. So he said, okay, just don't waste time. Immediately go join the next thing. So I came to Chennai for that. I came to Chennai to do my diploma in audio engineering. So engineering to music is not the transition. Engineering to
Right.
sound was the transition.
Okay.
But then when I came here, I thought that's not enough. Like I spotted that I can create new things rather than replaying it, which is like very, very hypocritical from that time right now. But that's something I wanted to do. So I started learning music on my own. Until 2012, I wasn't a musician. I started to learn music from 2012.
So before that, you didn't even learn singing or anything. Nothing.
No. I'm the first musician in my family. There's like no one with respect to music was before me. So yeah, 2012, I just started reading the theory of it. I loved reading the theory of music. So I started reading it. And then once you come into diploma in audio engineering, it's mandatory you should read the piano grades until 5th grade. So it also kind of helped me. The major part of my music goes to Raja sir. So I had a very crazy schedule practice. Since I wasn't a musician, I sleep 1 hour a day. That was my schedule for close to 4 to 5 years. Where morning 7:30 to night 9, I will be in the studio where I will read only the science part of it, like the audio engineering part of it. I come back home, eat, and then from night 10 o'clock to morning 5:30, I do only music. So I started reading what are the different ragas that's there.
So it's only passion that can make you do all of this.
It also, you are so less knowledgeable that you need to run so fast to learn all that, right? It's not just a passion, right? It's also about, hey, if you want to survive here, you should know these things.
It's nice that you were not lazy about it in that age.
Yeah, true.
And you had the drive to,
that was there because the conditions I came from made sure that I should run faster. My clock was ticking pretty fast, so that was there. So there was this habit where I learned a raga for the first 2 days. And then third day, fourth day, I listen to all the kritis that is there. And fifth day, I just go on this discovery of what's the Raja sir song that came in that raga, how he derived to it. And sixth day, other composers, how they handle the raga. Seventh day, I compose a song on that raga. This was a practice for close to 3 years or 4 years. And that's how I kind of got into doing music. And that's how I came into music.
Right.
Otherwise, I wanted to be a theatre mix engineer. I badly wanted to. I just went on to attending Dolby Atmos mix sessions, all the crazy sound engineers sessions and all that. So it's a crazy journey to
switch from that to this. So you grew up feeling like an outsider sometimes is what I, read and I've seen before.
Right.
So, how did that shape the way you look at people, and how do you build connections today?
The outsider feeling of it is because I come from a different city. A
Right.
city that has very less exposure on whatever I have right now. Probably Trichy is like very well developed right now.
No.
But I'm
Yeah.
talking about 2010, 2008. That wasn't the scene there. So when I came to Chennai, I was actually scared. Scared to meet people, scared to talk with people. I thought, first of all, it's the language, right? I wasn't very fluent in English. So I always had this feeling there was good clouds of different schools in Chennai, and I could never enter that cloud because of the language, but it's nothing because of them. It's all just
Your
my
feeling.
imagination of like, how can I enter that cloud? That gave me a very strong feeling of outsider, where I was like, okay, we need to. It is the self feeling of, oh, you cannot be friends with them. So what you can do on your own is the kind of ideology I come from. Again, from there, I think Mottamaadi music actually helped me to kind of meet a lot of people, gain some confidence, because Chennai absorbed the idea really well. Like, that's what I usually say. If not for Chennai, I don't think any other city would have absorbed an idea like Mottamaadi music, right? So when it started going into auditoriums, I came across a lot of people who I wanted to talk with, who I wanted to
Who attended
spend time with, learn with. It gave me the window to learn a lot. So I think if I want to advise someone who's coming new to Chennai, I would say that just don't have this fear. They are all actually friends.
Right.
You just need to have that tip of conversation with them to make sure that you can learn from them. That's there. There are good experiences, there are bad experiences. That's always there with people. So you never actually care about it. But once you get into that, you kind of make sure you get access to a lot of arts. That would say, I would say, being an outsider, that would be a huge task. How to go to this concert alone? How to go to this workshop alone? This alone question now, since I'm 32 now, I'm very confident on going to places alone if I want to learn from that. But but a 22-year-old, I wasn't that confident because I always felt like, oh, பயங்கரமா English பேசுவாங்க. How to communicate with them? Like, that was a huge question. And will they even talk to me? Like, I'm a nobody there. Why should they? All these imagination goes. But the kind of access it gives you to art and the kind of access it gives you to learning once you break that shell is amazing. It's because they are one step ahead on exposure, right? So they always make your path easy. They never going to say that you need to go through the same path to come here. They all say, I have already went through this path. Just carry on. So I am very glad I got a lot of friends like that. So that kind of helped me to make sure. I still sometimes feel I'm an outsider. But yeah.
Really? Now it's too late.
That feeling never goes away when you're from actually outside, come into this beautiful city.
So, in the recent times, what's a big moment or a small moment that made you smile and think that this is why I do what I do?
I guess probably the recent show, we performed a song, and that's the first time my mom gave me a standing ovation. The entire auditorium was sitting and my mom was standing. I don't know, I haven't asked her why did she. So, but it felt like for my mom, it's a proper evolution of, hey, you shouldn't do this. We grew up in a family where it felt like this is not for you.
Okay.
From there to come to an auditorium and clap for what I do is something that gave me a good feeling.
Definitely.
It's like, oh, okay. Now she agrees to it. Like, okay, sometimes I feel she is right. I should have heard her back then. But this moment, that moment was, I didn't see it. Apparently, I saw it in a video.
Okay.
Because you're so into the show.
Yeah.
My mom is not in the front anywhere because I cannot perform if they are in the front. So she was sitting somewhere, and my friends told me that did you see your mom? I was like, no, I didn't see. We are absorbed in that moment. So, but that moment was like very, very special.
Cute and emotional.
Yeah. My dad goes crazy every time he comes to the shows. If you check his Google Drive now, he'll have all the shows from my first two now. He's a brilliant critic. My dad's music sense is amazing. He was the one who never had a problem with the transition of Raja sir to Rahman sir. That generation always had a problem, right? Whereas, like, I'm a Raja sir fan.
Yeah.
My dad never had a problem. Whenever I do some new music and show it to him, he will never agree me as a music director. And he will say this funny thing. He will say, whenever you can create a track like Taxi, that's when I will agree you are a music composer. Because he says that's a new tonality I listen to.
Yeah.
Until now, everything you show, I have heard it somewhere. Why would people listen to you? So his reference is Taxi. So his criticism is like, very
Huge.
valid inside my head. Whereas like, okay, if he says this, we need to go check on it really. It never comes from the musicality of it, but it comes from the music listening sense of it, which is more
Which you need.
valued.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the mom's moment is very special. Yeah.
Now, I want to know about a moment that was unprepared and probably imperfect, but it turned out to be just the way you wanted it to be.
I'll not name this auditorium.
Okay.
So this is the first time we are actually performing
In Chennai.
huge. No, I'm not telling the city.
Okay, okay, okay.
No, I don't know. I want to perform there again. So
Okay.
I'm not telling that. This is one of the first times where we are performing for a huge audience and stuff. So we finished the sound check. Close to 1,000 to 2,000 people are inside this auditorium.
Okay.
The auditorium had this habit where they had an memorized way of putting the patch in. So once we finished the sound check, the main guy from the auditorium came and just repatched everything and then went away. We didn't know that happened. So once we got onto stage, nobody listened anything on stage. The outside mix is good, normal, but we had no reference on what we were going to play. And there are 2,000 people sitting in front of us. So for the entire entire show, I stood in profile and I was a tempo between the audience, which is like totally imperfect for someone who should be the center person of it. But that show is one of the beautiful shows we have ever performed. So that imperfection was like, it's a very strong memory inside my head. I'll pray God every day that it should never happen to me again. Because I don't think I mean, it's impromptu that it happened once.
Yeah.
It can never happen again.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure about it. So I pray that it never happens. But that moment was very special. That's a very, I don't know whether I can catch that photo. It's like I will be standing like this throughout the show and handling the crowd. That was a very, very core memory, which is like totally imperfect. When we came out, we blasted at each other. It's like what we were doing because we had no clue how the show went. What we played. Then audience reaction gave us the confidence. Okay, it felt crazy. Good. These things. The show fiasco is always the craziest things. Those imperfections are unmatchable.
Can't be handled also again.
There are times with the travel it happens. We'll be performing in high fever, but those are not like imperfection. I would say. But these moments where like you have prepared it so well, and then you went for a dress change, and this happens, and you can only know about it once you're there. Like that's once you start, yeah. We are like playing the first note, and nobody can hear anything. We were like looking at each other. What's happening here? That's like an.
What would you tell someone who's about to pick the mic and get into the unknown like you did once?
I would say be very precise on what you want to say. I didn't do it for close to 4 years. I am just learning the art of being very, very precise on what I want. So prepare whatever you want to talk inside your head, and then communicate it in as simplest way as it can be delivered to someone who doesn't know. That's the best way to hold a microphone. Otherwise you're just loud because you're amplified, and whatever you're trying to say will also get amplified. That's not what people want to listen. When you hold the microphone, be very prepared on what you want to say, and I would say always have good sense of humor. That always helps. It takes you out of any bad moment. If you have the ability to
do it,
generate some humor, that always helps. These two things are like very, very primary. With respect to music, I don't think I'm not eligible yet to actually advise.
You can't say that.
No, very honest.
For a beginner, someone,
Again, I would say be very confident. That's all. Your preparation happened in the green room, not here. Don't prepare in front of the microphone. Deliver in front of the microphone. Deliver in front of the microphone.
Okay.
Whatever you know, just deliver it with utmost confidence, as if people should believe that this is what you have prepared.
Okay.
This is like the Prestige movie, right? Like the audience should never know the trick. They are just here to see the magic.
Right.
Yes.
What's that one conversation that you've had with yourself that you remember word by word because it's changed something in your life?
I would say this is a very fine moment in my life where like I would say time will get better. No matter where you are, where you stand, what's the circumstance you are in, what's the place you are in, what are the kind of people you are around in, time will always make it better. Time can never take you back if you are honest to the time. So that's something I told myself. I had a year in 2017, I guess. I was jobless for close to 2.5 years after my studies. To an extent, I was at that thought where I was like, I took a wrong decision. I shouldn't be here. All those thoughts, and then that's what I said to myself. Okay, just believe in time. Like it'll come to you. You are working enough, and you are respecting the time enough so that your moment will come. Like I don't know whether the moment came or not, but I mean, I would say
It's only getting better.
it's getting better from where I was, and time will always make it better if you're being very honest to it. That's some conversation I always have it to myself. Like, okay, if you are in a bad situation, just like the time will get better. It's okay. That's something I'll always have. I
That's
always
very
tell
nice.
people also. I'll be like, okay, this is just bad time. We'll move on. Just smile and move on, move on, move on. I believe a lot in God, so I would always say something better is waiting. So people who don't believe in God, I think they should believe in nature. I guess
Whatever they
whatever
want to
they
believe
want to
in.
believe. Exactly. I read this from my one of my favorite authors, Suchata. He says to live a very peaceful life, you need to believe in something, be it God, be it parents, be it work, be it anything. But the only rule is it should be an unquestionable belief. That kind of helps.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, can be anything. Your work or anything. You just don't question it so that you live happy.
Nice. So you began on a terrace with a bunch of people around you, and now you are shifting stages in different countries. So how's the feeling when you get on a stage now to the first night you performed on Mottamaadi?
I miss the liberation.
Really?
I would say because you're absolutely pointless and aimless on the first moment, right? Actually, Mottamaadi wasn't started to be a business idea. The Mottamaadi we didn't start. I was so jobless, and then I am a teetotaler, so I never do this clubbing thing. So I had no way to chill. So I had a band, so we thought, okay, just let's go to the terrace and sing, and let's make people sing. Since I come from a non-musician background, it was always there. I grew up in a household where there is this channel called SCV, which plays 24 hours music.
Yeah.
That's where I grew up. So I was like, I mean, my mom sings, my dad sings, I can sing. It was never a question of creative ability for me to sing. Like it was like it relaxes me. I can sing. That's what. So the thought process came like that. So it was very, very liberating. And it's open sky, right? Whenever I see open sky, that's what I feel. You can fly. You can fly any moment you want to. I miss that. I miss that right now. But I'm just being very honest to the idea I created, is what I guess now. That's the takeaway I always take whenever I travel, head to a new place. You being an entertainer, you being a creative person, it's also your duty to take it to the places. You cannot you cannot ask for people to come and see you. You should go meet the people, because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. So it's a part of their life. But if entertainment is your life, it's your duty to take it to them. So that kind of that's what I stick to right now. Though I definitely miss the Mottamaadi vibe of it. There are people who actually don't come to auditoriums who came to Mottamaadi. They were like, this is what I wanted. I don't want to be in a confined space again. Though I like you, though I like your, I don't want to be there, and I absolutely respect.
Maybe they like the feel of that more.
No, it's like they own it in that way. And I cannot take it away from them. Like, for example, when you give art to someone, they kind of perceive it in a way.
In their own way.
You cannot judge, right?
Right.
So it's their way of perceiving it. I cannot take it as hatred. I can only take it as, oh, they have received it. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's meet new people. Whereas this gives a set of people a new kind of comfort, where I have my own seat, where I have my own. I know that I'm definitely going to see the show. It is very, for example, in Mottamaadi, it was not confined. There was no concept of playlist. We'll be just like Kayatuki in the Patapana and the Patapana.
Okay.
Now it's very confined. Some people like it, some people don't like it. It's like I want entertainment only for 2 hours. I don't want it for and I want it to be very refined. I exactly want to know how many songs you're going to perform. So I think the idea progresses like that. The one biggest advantage is you meet a lot of people. That is like an absolute privilege and honor to have if you're an artist. To meet a lot of people, how they see it, how they want to receive it, how they love it. All that matters. And I regularly take feedback, so that also helps. So that just the idea is mine, right? And then the growth is part of so many people around me.
Yeah.
So I just make sure that I listen to everybody and then take the growth along with them. But yeah, Mottamaadi is better. I would say, since it's my baby, I would say, yeah, that was so. I would say that was so random. I love the randomness in Mottamaadi. I was like,
Right.
Summa we will be like, அடுத்த வாரம் பண்ணலாமா? Okay, பண்ணலாம். We'll put a Facebook post. We'll make this Nangle Pandranda or Facebook or poster. There was no concept of logo placement. What's the font? Now you need to think so much on like where to place this, where to place it. At that time, it was just liberation into 24 into 7, right? And I was like, nah, பாட போறேன் நீ வரதுனா வா வரலைனாலும் okay ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. And it was free at that moment. There was no ticketing also for that. So it's like okay, and I love to host people at my house. So that became another way to host people. My mom makes amazing coffee. So you won't believe, we made close to 180 coffees. My mom made for all the people who came to the Mottamaadi. We had pulip muttai that's going around. That Mottamaadi house had a mango tree. So on the mango வெட்டி காரப்பொடி போட்டு அதெல்லாம் பாடம் பொழுது இப்படி பாஸ்லாம் ஆகும். So those things those things I miss right now. I think that's what people also miss.
Maybe you should bring it back in your own way someday.
I did one. I mean, I cannot go to a Mottamaadi. I did one outdoor show very recently in a scale of a product. The production was as new as what I do right now, whereas the vibe was as old as we brought in. We made close to 1,500 coffees. Gave coffee for everybody. We gave pulip muttai for everybody. We did that March of this year, I guess. Yeah, so that was a very happy day for us. Though there were a lot of difficulties, and you never know when Chennai will rain.
Yeah.
That is there. But yeah.
When the scale changed from a bunch of people to now with thousands of people, what did you have to fight hard to hold on to?
Inside the team, it's definitely people management. Because you hold a better responsibility of how to use your resources. Who are your resources? How to use them, and how to validate their work. It wasn't that difficult when the number of people coming in was lesser, but now it's much more bigger responsibility because each one has a defined role right now. And then I become the person where I need to be that person who should validate it. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are all very close friends. When the friends and the work subset comes in, no, it's always strange and very, very difficult to work on. But I'm glad that I have very good friends who understands the with respect to the show part of it. I think it needs humongous amount of planning right now to give a close to flawless show. The planning part of it is what it is. It's something I fight on an every show basis, I guess. Obviously, every show we want to hit that 100%, but obviously we can never hit that 100% because there are some hiccups that comes in production. So we don't have event managers. We run our own production in India. So whenever we travel, the sound check will start late because we would have reached the place late because the bus was late. But you can never tell all this to the audience, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think audience was also right. Why should they care? I mean, I pay. Can you come and perform? It's what
their perspective,
right? So that part is what I hit, and I can never show that on my face when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
So that's like the splitting of brain is the most
hardest
thing I would say. That I think when you run both the production of it and when you perform for the next 2 hours, and in many cities it's 4 hours. I do 2 shows on the same day. So then it's like a little struggle to have. It wasn't there when the people were like in lesser, and also right when money involves in this process, the responsibility increases of like what you need to deliver is very not deliver with respect to the art part of it, but for the comfort part of it, that differs a lot. So yeah, that is also I'm still learning. We haven't hit the 100% market. There are still flaws we need to rectify. There are still flaws we need to learn from and then move on. So these are the times where very good audience who come and give us very valuable feedback, that would be very useful for us to an extent. We give a lyric book to the audience whenever they come into the show. We have a feedback form in the lyric book right now where they can write and we actually read it so that we can rectify it the next time. But to smaller things, like now we have separate access for people who are pregnant, and if they want to come and sit early, we make sure there is wheelchair access to it. These are things that I didn't know when I started doing the production, right? But slowly when people talk to you, people tell you that these are very, very necessary. And then these are things you should notice particularly when you want to perform for everybody. So we learn.
But once you're open to, taking that and acting upon it, then it's only upwards.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I would say when you go upwards, you will have more things to learn. It's a never-ending process of like, yeah, what's next to learn? What's the better way to keep them very comfortable? At the end of the day, the ultimate solution is to keep them very relaxed. What
Yeah.
are the different ways to do it?
Right.
Except for, after you perform, will they go home safe? Have you taken care of the parking? Have you taken care of this? So everything comes under your
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a lot. On a Chennai show day, I go to the auditorium. I and some of the teammates, we go to the auditorium at morning 10. We never sit. The last, probably night 9:30 is the time we finish the show. Until then, we never sit. So that's the production runs like that. So it's and as like I'm saying, we haven't hit 100%. We still do that, and we are still learning. So as people go up, that's something I always take. Like every new person will come with a new perspective on what to do better.
Yeah.
And if you have the patience to listen to them, or you have the capability to just split, okay, this is needed, this is not needed because why I come from that. And the சொல்ற அளவுக்கு if we are like clarity இருந்துச்சுன்னா, it's like crazy cool. That's the learning. When you go bigger and bigger, the responsibility gets bigger and bigger. It's because you're talking about those many people. And you are responsible for them for the day. You cannot be like வந்த ஷோ பார்த்தா போனேன் அப்படி இருக்கக்கூடாது. Like you need to make sure that their penny is worth. If it is not worth now, what would you do to make it worthy is also your responsibility. You need to think all these before. It's not just about, yeah, I'm on stage. I'm going to perform. அப்போ வந்து நம்ம சொல்ல முடியாது முன்னாடி சொன்ன மாதிரி நான் பண்ண நீ பர்சீவ் பண்றது தான். Experience is very different. Yeah.
So now we're in the final question. So standing in front of a big crowd and watching people, unknown people, sing along with you, how is that feeling? Would you call it pride, or would you call it gratitude, or disbelief, or something that you can't even name?
I would say sharing.
Okay.
I am enjoying as much as they do. That's the whole idea we came up with. I was like, the overall idea behind it is to break the stereotype of, hey, one is a musician, one is an audience. So every time I go sing along with them, I make sure they enjoy the songs that I enjoy so much. That's the whole point of it. So I would say the right word is sharing. When I go on stage, I want to share the happy things with them. So it also gives you access to meet a lot of people, talk to them. When you are low, they give you something more. There are very staunch memories where I wanted to stop Mottamaadi and someone from the audience told me something that kind of changed
your
where I want to write more. I would say at that point, I would say gratitude. It's pride kandipa kadayadu. Kandipa kadayadu. I would say gratitude is definitely there. I would say it's definitely a sharing space. That's what I want to create. Next time I go on stage, I am with a new 500, 600 people who I want to have fun with. It's my own party day. It's my own happy day. I want to be happy with all of them who came on the show. So it's just that feeling of being around so many people and being happy. That's what I would say. Rest of the things, okay. அதை வச்சுட்டு என்ன பண்றது? Pride வச்சுட்டு என்ன பண்றது? That's the thing.
Nice.
Yes.
So this was Badri Seshadri on the Unsaid, and it was also a reminder that sometimes the most powerful stages are the ones that we build for each other. So that's all for this episode. Until next time, take care and see you soon.